What is up, Copy Squad? It's your boy, Kyle Milligan, and today I want to talk about Intrigue and copywriters' over-reliance on Intrigue inside of their attention-grabbing, like subject lines, pattern interrupts, things like this. So I got this topic from a Copy Squad Inner Circle call recently where we have every other Tuesday, users can submit their own copy, and someone submitted some emails, a batch of emails that they were sending out, and labeled some of them low performers, worst performers, and so on and so forth. And so we were going over some of his poor performer emails, and I noticed a trend involving intrigue in the lower performing email subject lines. And I was looking these things over, and I sort of realized that his reliance on intrigue was too deep. It was too heavy without enough sort of balancing with benefit. What I mean by that is I'll basically spell out how he did this. So I'm going to first tell you, I'm going to make up his niche. Let's say his niche is drawing. He's helping artists learn how to draw better, okay? And the subject line was, okay, so do you know there's a little blue pill, okay, that specifically is meant for men, for males, to help them in their performance in certain situations, right? So his subject line was the name brand of little blue pill for drawing, like for his craft, right? So it was the little blue pill for drawing, okay? And that was the subject line. And whenever you sit there and think about that, you have to do some sort of mental gymnastics to draw a conclusion about how that is actually what you want for becoming a better artist. And this was something I noticed a pattern in the subject lines of his very worst performers, is there is like a mental gymnastics that your reader would have to dive into to eventually draw the conclusion like, oh, this could be useful for me, right? So it's one of those things where, you know, there's a couple different things that copywriters do. So for instance, one of the pet peeves that I've been talking about in recent videos is pattern interrupts that are just dynamite dropped at your footsteps. And then the other thing was, you know, triggering BS incorrectly and thinking it just has to be a big promise. So these are techniques that are inherent in a lead to grab attention. Now, I've covered these details, these specific techniques. There's 5 major techniques you've got to know to hook a reader in your lead. I cover all that inside my new leads training program called 7 Pages to 7 Figures. That's available at copysquad.net/products if you want to check it out. But the point is, I sort of noticed that there are copywriters who are just doing the whole sledgehammer to the face move. They're just whacking you across the face, getting your attention, dropping dynamite at your feet, and they're never thinking about how to properly engage you. And so what I noticed in these subject lines was it was more of the same. It was more of like, ooh, this is wacky, ooh, this will make them raise an eyebrow, but is that enough, right? You want to make sure that your reader doesn't have to go through mental gymnastics in order to arrive at the conclusion that this is an email that will be good for me to read. It'll be beneficial. I will get something good out of this email. Just the wackiness generally isn't enough, and a lot of people rely way too heavily on that. So I'm going to go ahead, stop talking here, and let you have a look inside the Copy Squad Inner Circle session that we had, and let you watch that call. I hope that you do get some value out of this clip, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace out, Copy Squad.
Well, one thing I was curious about is subject lines.
Okay, yeah. So I actually just dealt with this. I don't want to call him out by name. Just sent me some recently that did the same thing, which was basically you're asking too much of the reader. You're asking the reader to decide to be interested in something like there's a second tier, like maybe this will get my beats hard. Like what are they? What there is no obvious conclusion to draw from this. Like you're asking too much. I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to think. And so what you're left with, and I talk about this, I think inside Take Their Money, is you're left with just pure reliance on the idea of intrigue. But intrigue isn't so again, I talk about poor man's intrigue in terms of like using the word this and just abusing the hell out of it. And that is when you're putting it all on the reader because you're not doing the work to just what really intrigues them, doing the work to actually intrigue them is dangling the carrot. And there's in this subject line, I have to sort of manifest what that carrot could be if I were to click. You know what I mean?
Yes, because kind of. So the carrot in this case, would it just be like the mechanism and how that connects to a result?
A,
But that little structure is not in here at all.
a carrot is something they desire.
Okay.
So this is one step removed. You force the reader with this to decide that this is something to desire, to figure it out, like to think, oh, this could be useful, maybe, if I
Mhm.
think about it the right way. You leave
Okay.
too much up to chance with that.